Hey guys, what is up? Frank Senpai here with a Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc Episode 2 review slash reaction. Oh man, it's getting really confusing with those names. So we start off the episode with Yukizome in her little office or whatever, looking at her calendar, and then that one guy, I forgot his name already, asks her, "Hey, what's up with all the circles on the calendar?" And she says, "Oh, that's the days that we've had perfect attendance, like full attendance on those days." And so it's basically every single day. It looks like it's been like 3 weeks since, the first episode, because you have 3 rows of circles. So that's cool. That means she's actually got the kids to come into class, and then everything's going well. So that's really cool. And then she gets a phone call from another teacher saying like, "Oh, I can't handle this. You need to help me. Like, I need help, please." So she rushes over to class, and she finds Nekomaru and Akane are fighting, and they're like, they're just like fighting, not like arguing. They're like legit fighting, and she's like, "Oh, you guys need to stop." And then they were like, "Oh, we're just fighting like in a realistic environment." And she's like, "Oh, all right, that's fine then. Keep on going." And so that was funny. They walk out, and Chisaki, or yeah, Nanami walks out because she lost her game, so she walks out of class. And that one other guy, the imposter guy, or no, I'm sorry, I forgot what he was, the ultimate manga artist or something. He's like, "Oh, did you run out of class too?" She's like, "Oh, we don't need to really be there because like we don't really need to make friends or anything. Like, there's no point of this because if we finish class, like we're basically set for life. Like that's the thing, because they're the ultimate students." And so that gets into Chisaki's mind because she wants friends. Remember, that's the whole thing she wants. She just wanted to make friends. So that kind of puts her down. And then Yukisome Sensei pops up and she's like, "Hey, don't let him tell you that. You can make friends easily with your talent. Video games with friends is really fun. Like maybe even more fun than playing by yourself." Is what she says. So that puts her up, that cheers her up, and that kind of stays in her mind. That'll play into later. So from there we go outside with Yukizome. She gets a phone call. She's talking to Munakata, the guy from the future arc. Yeah, future arc. Munakata, and he's basically kind of just reporting in. So basically what they're doing is like an investigation. Munakata and Yukizome. Because now that the ultimate, what is it called, high school, Hope Speak Academy is accepting like regular students from the reserve course, they're getting a lot of money because those kids have to pay to be in school, and so they don't know where the money is going though. So the investigation is to find out where the money is going because there are talks and rumors about how they're doing like something sketchy behind the scenes with that money. So try and figure out what it is and where it's going, and just to know what they're doing. So that is Yukisome's job. That is Yukisome's like goal. She has to find out what the reserve class is up to and what they're doing. So she goes to what's his face, Hinata, who's chilling on the park bench, like laying down. She goes to him. She talks to him. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Just like, "What's up? How's the reserve course? Like, what is that? Like, why did you join?" And so Hinata talks to her, and he's like, "Oh, that his dream was to get into Hope Speak Academy," which is kind of a bummer because I guess he doesn't have a special like talent, so the only way he could get in there was with the reserve course. So he has to pay a lot of money just to be there because that's his dream. And so yeah, that they finish talking. Yukizome goes away, and then the old guy from the future arc, Tengan is his name, the director from the future arc. He talks to Hinata too. Like, he comes up, he's a popular guy. He comes up and he's like, "So, have you thought about their offer? Like, what do you think you're gonna tell them? Like, what's the deadline's gonna be due soon? So, I mean, you gotta, figure out what you want to do." And what's interesting here is that he says, "I shouldn't say this because I'm part of the kind of like the board, or like I take a good part in the board. Like, I'm pretty high representative, but I don't think you should take that offer. Like, it looks sketchy, it looks, I don't think you should take that offer. Something about that is fishy." But Hinata says that, I guess what's in it for him is that, they'll pay for his course and his studies. And cause he says that, his parents don't have the money to be affording that school. So if he takes the offer, they'll let him, you know, stay there for free. So that he's probably gonna take the offer, because I mean, again, his dream is to be the his dream was to always go to Hope Speed Academy. So you know, if that was my dream, I wouldn't let anything stop me. So yeah, I would have taken the offer too. So it was, you know, we'll see what happens there. We go back with Yukizome. She walks into class, and then all the kids are playing Smash Bros, which is really cool on together, you know. And then the reason that happens is because earlier, since Yukizome told Hinata that, like, you know, playing games with friends is fun, that kind of stayed with her, and she wanted friends. So she's like, I guess she told everyone, like, hey, let's have like a game day or something. And what was cool about this is that, like, kind of like everybody that could pitch in really helped out. Like, I forgot his name, but the mechanic guy, he built a, I think it was a 16K, like, 16K screen projector, and that's what they were playing on. Hinami brought in her console and with the games that they're playing, and then what's his face, Teteru, the chef guy, cooked for everybody. So that was really cool. You know, everybody who could pitched in and help, and actually did something. Okay, and then I really didn't like this girl. Even in Danganronpa 2, the game, like, I really didn't like this girl. The loli girl, her name is Sayonji, I think. The one that's in the kimono. She's like, when they bring in the food, she's like, "Oh, I helped," and then Teteru's like, "No, you didn't. You only did like a little bit at the end. If you're gonna help, you have to start from the beginning." And so they're eating. And it's fun. It has like a funny scene. Akame is like wants like fourth serving. She's on her fifth serving or whatever, and she's like eating a lot. And then she starts to feel weird, and she kind of like, and then what's it? Nekomaru kind of like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Don't touch me." And she looks at him, and he's like, "Is that scene where like you're looking at someone beautiful or whatever, and they're all sparkly?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then he looks back at her, and she looks the same way to him. So this is like kind of like a shipping. That's how shipping's done. There you go. But no, what actually is going on? Everyone else starts feeling the same way too. But what's actually is going on is that when Sayonji said that she helped, she got Teteru's bottle, like the potion bottle, and she put it in the food. And apparently, what Teteru says, what he calls it, is that it was his sexy soup, which was basically an aphrodisiac. So she put that in the food. Everyone ate the food, and now everybody's like, you know, on another level. I really don't like that girl. Man, because she's laughing the whole time. She's like, look at all you guys, blah blah blah, whatever. And then Teteru was like, she's like, I'm glad I didn't eat the food. And then Teteru was like, well, if you're still hungry, why don't you have a bite of my daikon radish? And I'm just like, okay. So he's actually like creeping up on her really bad, like walking slowly towards her. And then Nanami comes in with like her ultimate finishing move, the heart slaying dragon fist, I think is what she called it, which basically was a Shiryuken, and knocks him out in one punch. So we go to the next scene. They're in the nurse's room, like trying to recover, but like everyone's like praising Nanami. He's like, "Whoa, you took him out in one punch, and like you saved her, and blah blah blah, and that's really cool." And so kind of like I assume she's like blushing because like she's happy, you know, she wanted friends, and they're all being nice to her, so they became friends. And the next day they go back into class, and Yukizome Sensei mentioned it earlier that they would have to elect a class president soon. So she actually kind of like takes it upon herself to nominate Nanami, and she's like, "Nanami, I think you should be class president." And then everybody is like, "Yeah, you're awesome. You were really nice, and like you're cool, and then you helped us out yesterday, and like you should be class president." So out of like a vote from like everybody, like, you know, they vote Chisaki as class president, or Chiaki Nanami as class president. So that's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened in that show. Really quick too, I just want to throw this out. It was really interesting. That kind of like caught my eye. Komaeda, has this kind of like little speech, like while everyone's electing her as class president, where he's like, "Oh man, we found hope as long as Nanami is class president." He says, "As long as Nanami is class president, this class and slight will never end," which I thought was really cool / ironic. I don't know if they did this on purpose or if they just said it to say it, because again, full spoilers, Danganronpa 2, full spoilers. At the end of Danganronpa, we find out that because there was a extra student, like someone that wasn't supposed to be there, that snuck into that class. We found out that Nanami was the extra student because, you know, she was trying to save everybody. We all assumed that the extra student would be the killer, but it was actually Nanami trying to save everyone. So that was cool because, like he said in this, like it's kind of like foreshadowing that she would go out of her way to try to save her friends from, you know, the Danganronpa 2 or whatever. But I thought that was really cool. I don't know if they meant to say it that way, or if they just said it to say it, but I thought that was really, really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the episode. We see the end credits, and then we go to an end scene, where back to Hinata in his class, the reserve class, they introduce a new student called Natsumi Kuzuryu, and she looks mean. she like walks in and she's like, "So I don't know why they put me in this class with all you scum and all you trash and all your lowlifes, but I'm here." And that's her, you know, introduction. So it looks like she's gonna play into something bigger later, but we'll have to see there. Also really cute. Nanami and Hinata go on a date after. She invites Hinata to go play arcade games after school. So, you know, shipping. That's how shipping's done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been my review of Danganronpa 3, the Spare Arc episode 2. I'm getting it down. Ja, mata ne.